So last week we went ahead and unboxed the Oculus Rift S, and this week what we're going to do is go ahead and review what we've learned throughout the last week. Right from opening the box, I definitely could tell that the company spent some money into the box itself. It, has extra foam, and it made sure that the packaging was pretty, so to say. But that's because, they care about their product. When they put more money into their product, that means they know that it's going to do well, or they think that it's a great product themselves. Now, when I bought the Oculus Rift S, there's a few problems I wanted it to solve for me, because I already have the HTC Vive. So why would I get another VR headset? Well, because mainly there is two sensors for the HTC Vive, and usually in my room it's in different, you have to put it on different sides, and you basically have cords everywhere. If you have an outlet that is halfway across the room, then you have to find an extension cord or something like that, so that it will actually, make it to where the sensor is going to be for, locating you. That was one reason why I wanted to make sure I actually got the Rift S. If you look at the cameras, there's one on top, there's two on the bottom, and there's two in the front. What this is going to do is track exactly where you are. It's going to track where your handsets are, so that you don't have to worry about having sensors, all over the place. And those sensors, it becomes a cord mess, and sometimes you have to do cable management when the cables are just in the way. So let's go ahead and get to the reasons I like the Oculus Rift S. Mainly, it's lightweight. I mean, this thing is way lighter than the old ones. The old ones, they've started to, wear on your head. It's just, it wasn't very light. Even the ones that had the Halo type, and that was still a little bit heavy. Because it just weighed down on you, but it was the lightest of all of them. If I compared it to the PlayStation VR, it's definitely a lot like it. Now, the second positive thing about this headset is that the screen door effect is much less in here than it was in the HTC Vive. Now, I've tried Oculus, and I've tried some mobile versions, not the Go or anything like that, older versions, and the screen door effect, it's better on this one. It's kind of like having a more fine screen. Like you added a thread count, basically, is what they did, and it really does help. The HTC Vive, I do have some problems with it. When you're gaming and stuff like that, you can notice that it's there. With this one, after you've been gaming for a little bit, you're not going to notice that it's actually you're in your VR. You're not going to notice that screen door is there. But don't get me wrong, there is a screen door effect with this one. It is just a lot better than the old one. Number three, the one really good thing about this one is the speakers. There are two speakers in the top here. There's one on this side, and then you have another on this side. They are right above the ear. They are positioned perfectly, just so that it creates a 3D sound. So when you have the headset on, somebody that's next to you can hear what you have on, you're playing, but it's very 3D to you because it's like right by your ear. So I do like that. It definitely has some good speakers that are internal, so you don't have to use your normal speakers if you don't want to. Like if you're using a laptop or something like that, you don't want to use your laptop speakers because they're usually not that great. But now with the speakers, don't think that you're going to get this huge bass response. I mean, they're just really small speakers, but you do get a decent amount of bass response. Like you can definitely tell that there's bass to it. It's no subwoofer, obviously. They don't have a way to put a subwoofer in here, but you definitely hear it. I kind of think that they might have put something in here, but I tried looking online and they didn't. But you would think that they actually put an extra little subwoofer in there. So I think one of these, because there's two holes here. So yeah, if you look closely here, you can see that there's two different holes. There's one there and then one there. And the thing is that one of these have to be maybe its base response, and the other one is likely just your regular tweeter or something like that, because like I said, it does have a base response. So the fourth reason I really like the Oculus Rift S is that, and this might be the same with the Quest, and I'm pretty sure it's not with the Go because it doesn't connect to your computer, but you're able to go into the desktop of the computer and then just open up Steam. When you're able to go in there, all you have to do is open up Steam VR or any game that's VR compatible, and you're able to just play the game from there, and it will run Steam VR for you. You can get into Steam VR, the interface and everything, just like you're using the Vive. All right, now for the things that are just not good. Everything has to have some negatives, and this one definitely is not short of that. Number one, the cameras on here must have light, and if you don't have enough light in the room or where you're at, you will not be able to use the headset. It's going to lose tracking, and it's going to try to find where you are and everything like that. So you need to make sure there's a good amount of light. So number two of the negatives is that it does not have a headset built in. A lot of the newer headsets definitely have the like headphones or something like that you're able to just use so that you have some kind of immersion. Like I said, the speakers on here are really good 3D, but it doesn't have, I have to add it as a negative because it when you compare it to others, it doesn't have that. If you're someone that really likes to have headphones opposed to speakers or anything like that, then you definitely want to count that as a negative as well. But the built-in speakers, they are good. Now, one of the things that really bugged me with this headset is the tensioner in the back. Now, if you take a look at this, when you have a giant head like myself and you have it set up like this, really what's going to happen is it's going to start going in and in and in by itself. Like I can just barely touch it and it's going to go all the way back by itself. You're gonna be a little bit disappointed because by the time you come back to it, it's going to be all the way back to being small. I really don't like that because I like having it set to something and then I just be able to put it on and there's no problem. The fourth and final negative I have for this headset is the peripheral vision. Now, yes, you do have the glasses in here where you're able to see and then everything's fine. So if you're trying to look at something that's in the corner of your eye, it's going to be blurry. That's the problem, is that it's blurry. And you need to turn your head in order for it to be in focus or clear. And that is really bothering me. And that is one of the reasons I may still end up returning this. As much as I really like this one over the HTC Vive, it's really bothersome when you're playing a game or something like that and then the very side is blurry. This one is a positive and negative. The comfort of the headset, for me, it's not that comfortable because in the eyes or the face, it presses up against your face too much, because when you look here, it's pushing up this way so that it tries to put focus on your nose so it stays up there. And if you have it tight, I feel it just in bottom of my nose or bottom of my eyes. My wife, it fits her fine, and she thinks it's a lot more comfortable than the HTC Vive, where I feel like the HTC Vive is not that bad. See, it just closed again. So that part is definitely, a person-to-person, type thing. Now, the controllers. Now, I cannot put down these controllers that much because I just personally do not like them. However, it seems like the world does, because Vive's new headsets will be having these types of controllers as well, where the ring is on top. Somebody in my other video for the unboxing mentioned that this is pretty much so that it can track you much better. Okay, so who is this for? This is for somebody that already has a PC setup, because it does take a little bit of a decent computer to run high graphic games if you want to play some of the bigger and newer games, AAA titles that are VR. Now here comes where do I recommend this product? That's a bit mixed, because besides the peripheral vision issue, it's a really good headset. Like I said, I'm like really in a debate if I want to return it because of that. The Oculus Rift comes in at $399, and I do have a link in the description if you wanted to check that link out for me, and it definitely helps the channel and helps me do more reviews. But let's go ahead and go through the main points that I think you should buy this headset for. One, it's lightweight. It's definitely lighter than the old Oculus and other, VR headsets that I've noticed. Two, it's cheaper and more affordable than a lot of the other headsets. Is it better than the older devices? Definitely. The screen door effect and all that. The peripheral vision is a problem with more than just this headset. Other headsets have that problem as well. I just don't get it as much with the HTC Vive. Now, my main reason why I would say to buy this is, one, you have a gaming computer already and you're able to hook it up and play the latest games. And the last reason why I say you would definitely want to buy this VR headset is that it's way more portable than any of the other desktop VR headsets. Some of them are starting to come out now that they're going to try to compete with this and do the same. I think the Quest also may connect to your PC, but this one connects to your PC and only has the 2 cables, so you can connect it to your laptop and you can go out somewhere, bring it to a friend's house, and have a game night of VR. And really all you need is this headset and these controllers, and that's it. So that's all we're going to do for this video. I want to thank everybody for watching it. Make sure you hit that like button, definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel. Y'all take care and happy gaming.